Hey there, everyone. This is Scott Downs. I'm here to bring you through the Morceau Symphonique today on trombone. A little backstory or a background information for me. I marched Mandarins 2010 and 11, and I marched Blue Devils 2012 through 17, and was one of the soloists on euphonium in 15, and soloist in 2017 on trombone and euphonium. All right, let's get started. So we're going to go through section by section through the Morceau. So have your part out, have your instrument out if you want to jam with me. So in the beginning, we'll start at measure 2 where the solo enters. And the way that I'm going to talk through everything today is kind of my own personal interpretation. There are many interpretations out there. My own, there's a whole plethora on YouTube, so find one you like, model your sound after that if you want to, or come up with your own. So this is me. I think the whole intro should just be soft and luxurious. Think about where you can bring each phrase to, not just what it says below the notes, but where's each note going to? Everything's got to have some flow. So see if you can hear some of that flow in here. It should never be stagnant. You're either going up and dynamic or down. Notice how each note was going towards or coming from the previous or next note. So try to find the spot that you want to highlight in each section. So in the beginning, I wanted to highlight that crescendo all the way to that G flat, but I still wanted a great amount of expression beforehand. So I did subtle things, bringing out a couple of phrases like in the third and fourth measure, going towards that fourth measure, I wanted to bring that out, so I backed off just a little bit before that. So you can do all sorts of stuff to play around with dynamics. I want you to keep that in mind as we go through the rest of this solo. The next section we're going to get to is con anima marcato, starting on that G flat. Now this is probably the biggest statement of the introduction. So everything before this point, I'm going to focus on keeping really soft and really mellow, again, shaping everything. But con anima with motion, we're leading all the way into, I have located that G flat. So I want to bring my entire phrase into that G flat at the end of this whole section, about 3 lines down. Now you may be asking why I didn't bring out that B flat, that beautiful, huge B flat with a big scale going into it. Yes, I did bring it out, but I didn't want to bring it out as much as the G flat because G flat is 1. If you're a music theory buff, you always, you can identify various sections in here where we are tonicizing the 1 chord. So 1, G flat in this whole section right here. So I want to bring that out right there because that is where everything is leading to. We got all this motion leading to that G flat right there. Okay, let's talk through a little bit of technique. Now, yes, this beginning is very soft and it's in the high range, which is definitely not the easiest place to play soft in. So we have some parts that I'm gonna pull out just to work on my soft dynamics coming up. So I'm gonna be in the first, second, third, fourth, fifth line down, starting on the A flat at piano. So A flat going to G flat at a piano dynamic, pretty difficult. I mean, that took me a long time to get down clean. Here's basically a 1 minute exercise that I do if something is not coming out. So say it sounds like, or something just doesn't sound right. It's like, oh, is there a squirrel in my horn or something? What I like to do is I pull out the mouthpiece. I do a lot of mouthpiece buzzing. Some people say to do it, some people don't. I really like it. I've done it with all of my teachers, and it has paid off in dividends. So I do is I try to buzz with using as much air as possible. I'm going to glissando between the A flat and the G flat. You want to be as free flowing with your air as possible, with as little tension as possible. So just like that. And so oftentimes what you're going to find is when you do that, you're going to hear some inconsistencies in your sound. Maybe you're not actually hitting that true G flat, so you're getting, you know, some other note is coming out. So then you have to work on getting those notes to sound true. So after I do that a few times, I buzz it normally. And see if that is clean. If it is not sounding clean, I have to work at getting it to sound clean. Now we put it back on the horn. Sounds pretty close. A little bit of an artifact in there, but pretty close. Now what I try to do is I try to bring down the dynamic. So I'm able to do it. I've practiced this a lot, but a lot of times you're gonna be really struggling to get those softer dynamics out. Like I used to struggle all the time. So if you're still struggling and it's like, okay, I got it clean at a higher dynamic, it's clean on the mouthpiece, but it's not clean when I'm soft. Try playing it down an octave and really get that sound in your ear. Not clean. So I think that time I had an air problem. So I'm gonna identify that and let's fix it. Free flowing with the air. Boom. Fixed it. I've made sure it's free flowing. Now to finish out this section. So I really challenge myself to play it super soft. Sometimes you just have to be like, all right, I have to play this soft. I gotta go for it. But if it doesn't sound big and beautiful and a bigger dynamic, then keep working at it on the dynamic that it sounds great at. Now we get into the Allegro Moderato section. And this is at 104 beats per minute. So we pull out the handy metronome and make sure that we are playing this at an accurate tempo. So maybe you're having trouble getting this articulation at the beginning here where we enter the Allegro Moderato. So what I do is I break anytime I have an articulational or notational, there's some lack of clarity. Maybe it sounds like this. You know, kind of some chip notes, wasn't in time, wasn't beautiful sound. So here's what I do to break things down when it sounds like that. Let's make it easy on ourselves. Let's take out the notes and play it on one note. Play the articulations on one note. I played in the articulational style I want, so I want a little bit marcato. Okay, sounding a little bit cleaner. Tongue articulations are a little bit cleaner. Yes, I am double tonguing. I like to challenge myself. I could single tongue this, but I like to challenge myself, so I'm double tonguing it. Next thing I do is I slow it way down, and I'm going to play it with the notes now. So I'll keep ramping up the tempo and boom, boom, boom. And now, say I've done that for 3 or 4 minutes, I give myself a break, back to it at full tempo. And there you go, much cleaner. Now, what I find to be one of the most important things in this introduction is having a break or variation in your style. So there's sections where it seems like it should be more marcato, like that introduction, and then sections where it's more legato or tenuto, where you have the ties and the slurs over the notes. So here, I'm going to try to demonstrate that right now for you. Got the tempo. So more of a marcato section, and then it leads into this beautiful section here. Yeah, so more of a legato feel there. And where is this whole section leading to? Looks like it's leading to that low F, which is kind of our 5. There's some tonicization of B flat going to an F, it seems like. And it looks like this next section's in B flat. So I'm going to be starting on the second line of the second page, starting on that G. So yeah, I brought it out just a little bit more than everything else in that rest of that section. So that's another section or another spot that you could be doing some of your tonal analysis. Okay, where is this leading to? What are the chords here? Yeah, I figure it's in B flat because we have a lot of A naturals leading to B flats. So seems like B flat section leading to the F. Then I'm going to skip on down. We're going to keep on going to con fuoco, but we're going to start with con calma, with calm right before that. So it seems like we're starting to get into a little bit more active of a section before the andante sostenuto. So yeah, we kind of built that whole section, made sure that we're showing some variation between the marcato and the legato sections. And then we get into some andante sostenuto, very similar to the beginning. So kind of practice that how you would, similar to the beginning. We're reflecting upon that. Over the biggest note I find in the entire piece up to this point is that high C sharp. So let's lead everything into that. You want to give yourself or allow yourself to have some extra juice to make sure you get that note. andante section, I kind of shaped it all around that C sharp, and then I brought it down. I really focus on having a smooth breath this whole time. If you get bombacious or whatever the word, bombastic going into the marcato, into the C sharp, that's when you might run into trouble if you get tense and squeezed there. So make sure we stay relaxed, and then I let everything relax into that piano, and I taper that end of that note there. You can kind of sneak some breaths in where you have repeated notes. That's why I kind of did, if you want to go ahead and go back and listen. Between the D flat and the second measure of the sostenuto, and then the 2 G flats, to make sure I had enough in the tank for that C sharp. And then I snuck breaths in between the marcato quarter notes. And here we are in the final statement, going all the way to the end. So I like to just add a little bit of extra juice to this. So maybe I'm going to bump it up to 110 clicks per minute on the metronome. And I'm going to start at the con floco. I like to bring out these triplets, lots of airflow all the way through to the end of the triplets. The chromatic triplets are all leading to something. So you notice how I drop just a little bit at the beginning of the triplets. It makes that end A natural sound a little bit bigger. So you know, even though this is written at forte, you don't have to play everything so huge. You know, play with finesse rather than with power. Save the power for some specific part of the piece, such as the ending here. Last line. You always want to have a little bit extra in the tank for stuff like that. I find that a lot of times people play the entire piece so big and so powerful that they have nothing left once they get to this point right here. You don't have to play all your fortissimos the same. Pick and choose your battles. Pick and choose which one you want to be the biggest. So thanks for watching. I hope you got something out of this, and good luck with your auditions.